and stream it live. We'll do it live. It's Friday happy hour. Been making stuff all week. Oh yeah. Now it's Friday. It's happy hour. Let's
Friday
talk about
happy hour. Starting
and stream
soon.
it live. We'll do it live. It's the weekend. It's time to crack open a beer. And maybe tomorrow, go to the beach. Oh yeah, it's Friday happy hour. Been making stuff all week. Oh yeah. Now it's Friday. It's happy hour. Let's talk about stuff and stream it live. We'll do it live. It's Friday happy hour. Been making stuff all week. Oh yeah. Now it's Friday. It's happy hour. Let's talk about stuff and stream it live. We'll do it live. It's the weekend. It's time to crack open a beer. And maybe tomorrow, go to the beach. Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's Friday, happy hour. Been making stuff all week. Oh yeah. Now it's Friday, it's happy hour. Let's talk about stuff and stream it live. We'll do it live.
Here's your host, Brian Dean.
Please excuse the technical difficulties. My mic was muted. It's been a while. My setup, I was just saying, I just moved last week, so I'm still getting things set up. Still a little rusty. Haven't done this in a while. And let's get this turned off here. Let's make sure everything is going. All right. Sorry about that technical glitch there. Like I said, been a lot of packing, moving, unpacking, and This is my new office here. I'm back close to the beach again, back in New Jersey. And for happy hour, basically the format is I have a beer, talk about some stuff. Probably going to be about the last video I put out and the video that's coming up. And once the streams get popular enough and we've got some people hopping in, take some questions about, like I said, the last video or maybe the newest video that's going to be coming out. And I'll kind of go over some workflow stuff. But let's start off with a beer. This is Asbury Park, a blonde ale, I believe, right? I was looking for a cane beer. Let's see, I've got the cane shirt here, but they did not have any at the store I went to. So I'm going to have to find a new store. So we'll crack this open. And today I'm going to go over the last video that I released, which was the Sky Island channel. I'm going to talk a little bit about the new upcoming video, which is the George Lucas problem with AI. And if you work with AI, you probably are familiar with this problem. You'll probably know immediately what it is if I were to tell you. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to have a little suspense so that people will hopefully be curious and want to tune in. But it's a little problem that I've discovered while working with AI, which again, I'm sure that anybody who's been using AI extensively for any period of time kind of runs into this. And I'm just going to share kind of some of my workarounds. And again, people that use AI may have already kind of figured this out. But for those of you that maybe haven't figured it out or that are just starting, I'll give you a couple tips and tricks. So cheers. My first happy hour stream here at the new office, the new apartment down at the beach. And it's good to be back in Jersey. It's definitely good to be back. All right. That's a delicious beer. Okay, I would like to get my chat window up, but I don't have it set up for this new channel. Let me see if I can get signed in real quick, because I will not be able to see any active chats. Let me just see if I can do this really quickly here. Oh boy. Hold please. I really should have done this before, but okay, this is going to take too long. Okay, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. All right, so let's get into some stuff. The last video that I put out was the Sky Island little teaser trailer type thing, which I made with Higgsfield. And what I want to talk about with that, I discussed this a little bit on my old channel. But I'm going to go over some of the things on here, and I'll just give it a quick playthrough very quickly for anybody who maybe did not see it. We'll just give it a little, let me get my camera here. So this is basically the project, and I guess I won't play through the whole thing. Did my headphones turn off?
Well then, where should we go?
Let's go to Sky Island! Okay! Sky Island is back there! Where's it taking us?
Maybe sailing among the clouds! Wow! Mackerel and herrings! It's a floating island! Land ho!
Hey, let's explore! Okay.
Don't get too far ahead!
Let's race!
Better get after him. No telling what beyond this Sky Island.
Probably should have full screened it.
What are you doing in my kingdom? I am the royal Booloo-Roo. You are trespassers in my kingdom. Guards, seize them. I want that umbrella.
All right, so there it is. So a couple things that I learned when doing this stuff is it is critical to have good character sheets made, and that is really what you have to do for character consistency. But even then, why does this person keep calling me? Even then, you're not necessarily going to get consistent characters. So, like, I will show you part of the problem here. So, Captain Bill here is supposed to have a peg leg. And if we look at some of the shots, he kind of does, but then here he's got his leg back. And a lot of times what the AI wanted to do, it just kept wanting to give him 2 legs. And despite the fact that I made a very specific character sheet showing he only has 1 leg, and I would even in the prompt add additionally, hey, this character, Captain Bill with a peg leg, and then describe the action. And it's just one of those things that AI does. For this particular video, I didn't really want to spend time redoing everything because I was kind of running out of credits. It does get expensive, when you're burning through credits, because if you have a plan, you have a certain amount per month. And if you go over that, you've got to buy more. So, when the AI kind of screws up, it can be a problem because you only have a finite number of credits, and if you need more, now it's costing you money. So you can see here he's got a peg leg, and here he's got a regular leg, and it just kept kind of happening. Here he's got a regular leg. Here he's got a regular leg. Here he's got a peg leg. The other thing that it had a really hard time with was this. I don't know if my cursor is showing up on screen here. Yes, it looks like it is. Okay. This elephant handle on the umbrella, it really did not like this thing. It just was doing all kinds of weird things with it, and it was very difficult to get that to display or render the way it was supposed to. So the biggest problems with this were Captain Bill's peg leg and that elephant handle. And I think that basically makes sense because it's things that are out of the ordinary for, normal character type stuff. It's things that the model probably doesn't encounter very often. When it sees people, it generally sees people with 2 feet, not a peg leg. Probably not sure how much pirate stuff it has in its training data. So those were some problems. And, I did spend a lot of time creating that character sheet. And I would say that you really should spend the time to do that. You can use ChatGPT, and you can use, or not ChatGPT, sorry, you can use Nano Banana Pro is what I used. And I have unlimited on the on Higgsfield. So let me just switch over to my Higgsfield thing here. If I could find it. The one thing I don't like about Higgsfield is it's very bad with sorting and organizing. All right, so you can see here I've generated over 1,000 images for this, and that if you're going to get a plan, you really want to make sure that you get one that has unlimited image generation. That is very, very, very important because the images are what you're going to be using to generate your character sheets for your character consistency, and it's also going to be used to generate your starting frame, and you have to get those right. If you don't get those right, then your videos, which are much more expensive, even if I wasn't on an unlimited plan, it's obviously going to be much cheaper to generate fewer credits to generate an image than it would be to generate a video. So if you have a bad starting frame for your video, then your whole video is going to be wasted, and now you're starting to burn a lot of credits, which is why it's really important that you generate as many images as you need to get your characters in a good spot and to get these starting frames the way you like them. Because, like I said, moving forward with a bad frame, it's just going to give you a bad video, and that's going to start to get expensive. So this is an example of where AI just does some wild, crazy things here. So this, I don't know what is going on here. You can see that the prompt, this was my, let's see if it'll bring it up here. This was my starting image, and I was essentially trying to get the reverse angle of this, and it gave me this. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you can see it's got the Trot character and the Captain Bill, and I can show what those are if I go into the video section here. Oh, by the way, I was trying to make a little BPD logo at the beach, and it actually did a pretty good job. Check this out. Not bad. I found a picture of Belmar. That's actually Belmar Beach. I mean, the waves look fantastic. They look absolutely fantastic. So, you know, I'm going to work on like a nice new logo animation instead of the, you know, the boring one that I have now, which is just this, you know, this kind of plain metallic thing with the lights just kind of rotating to give it a little bit of animation along the edges. I made that in Unreal. So anyway, if we go into, so the next project I'll be working on, beyond the Lucas problem, the George Lucas problem with AI, is going to be an Arc Raiders short. So you can see some of those videos here. I've been starting to generate, and I'm going to cast myself as the old veteran raider, which has been kind of fun to do. But if I go into video here and let's just go to video. So if I go to make a prompt, well, actually, if I go to elements, so we can see all the various different elements that I have here. And like, this is the character sheet I had for Captain Bill. Let's see, I can't really look at it, but you can see the various different images. I have him just in a couple different poses. Then I have like a slightly, you know, top-down view. I've got just like a running view. Just again, some various different poses, but you can see he's got the peg leg in all of them. Although it's interesting, I don't see the side view. I know I've generated some side views for him. Interesting. So if we go into, this is the Raider character that I'm making. It's going to be me cast as the Raider, Arc Raiders. And you can see like this is kind of an example of a style sheet. You want a front view, side view, full body view. But let me bring up, let's see. Oh, so this was the elephant handle. So you can see I did a close-up of the handle. That's what it's supposed to look like. It was very difficult to get that in a lot of shots, despite the fact that, like I said, I you know, have very clear images here of what it's supposed to look like, including this close-up, including this front and side view of the handle. It really just did all kinds of weird things. Let's see if I can find some stuff with what it was making. But here, I'll just, for the heck of it, I'll just show you some of these tests. Those didn't look like they processed. So let's see.
Who the hell is this? Who the hell is
Okay,
this?
that was just a test to get that one shot.
Who the hell is this?
Okay, stop.
Who the hell is this?
So you can see part of the problem with doing these generations, like the lip sync's a little off. Now this is using Kling. I'm not using Cdance 2 quite yet. It's very expensive, and I just wanted to do some tests first to make sure things were working before I start doing those expensive Kling generations. But if you played Arc Raiders, you'll recognize these skins. These are the actual skins from the game. You know, this outfit here is from the game. This character skin is from the game. And what I'm wearing here is one of the skins from the game. So the basic story here is going to be, you know, an old veteran raider, which is me, and then she's going to be kind of like my protege who I was training, and then I'm bringing on this new guy, which is this guy here. He's the noob. And she's kind of like, who the hell is this? And I'm like, oh, you know, he's I'm going to be training him. And if you're familiar with the game, you'll know that they have this thing called an expedition where it's essentially like a server wipe for yourself. And so he's going to be kind of leaving, and he, you know, is training up a new guy before he takes off. And, you know, there's going to be a series of short film, little like probably 2-minute chapters. So anyway, getting back to the, let's go to assets, and we'll go to Sky Island. And let's see if I can find some of the issues with the umbrella. Well, we've got this where it did this, but this whole image is screwed up. But this is part of the problem with a, and like I don't know. This is why it's very, very important. If you're going to do this, if you're going to try and make videos, and if you're going to go through one of these servers, you know, like a Higgsfield, or there's various different ones, make sure you get unlimited image generation, because you're going to get a lot of garbage. And if you're burning through credits, that's going to be really frustrating. This, I don't know what it did with the umbrella here. There's no handle. It's just crazy. But this is the kind of thing that happens. So even with a you know, a very well constructed character sheet, you're still going to get problems. So the critical thing, the advice that I could give is, like I said, unlimited images, and be very, very careful. Also, when you're generating your start frames for videos, give it a very, very thorough QC check, because even though I had that character sheet with the umbrella and with Captain Bill, there were early on, before I realized this was happening, I just kind of assumed it was going to create what I had asked it for. And it wasn't until after I generated the video that I'm like, everything's all messed up. And then I went back to the starting frame, and I was like, oh, it was actually screwed up in the starting frame, because I didn't, you still have to go through and really analyze everything and make sure that everything is looking exactly the way you want it to look. Like I said, because if you don't, and you generate a video from that, you've just wasted, like you can see here, a 15-second, well, this is 4K, which is new. It wasn't, they didn't have 4K before I moved. It's 30 credits, you know, so you're going to burn through 30 credits, and you're going to get an unusable video. So it's very important that you pay very careful attention to the images that you're generating. Give them a very, very thorough QC check to make sure that something, you know, isn't incorrect or looking wrong. And if it is, just keep generating. Just keep, you know, if that's why it's really important to have that unlimited plan. Just keep generating till you get what you want. And then, you know, and then your videos will be a lot more solid. And this is where, like, you know, people say, oh, do I even need to bother learning other skills and stuff? Well, yes, because I'm using Photoshop quite a bit. If there's just a small thing wrong with a starting frame, it doesn't make sense to go and, you know, it may take me 20 minutes of regenerating, trying to get that one fix that I want, or I can just bring it into Photoshop and do a fix in Photoshop. But if you don't have those skills, if you don't really know how to use these other softwares, then you're going to be at the mercy of the AI. And sometimes it does a great job. It does an amazing job, and sometimes really not so much. And you also have to remember that Photoshop does have its own AI generative tools built in, and you can use those as well to fix up some of the problems that might be in your starting frames. So, really try and get them as close as you can. And if you need to, bring them into something like Photoshop, take care of any artifacts or, fix any problems. And that's going to go a long way towards getting you better videos. Now, since I haven't done a lot of Seedance videos yet, I can't really speak to whether it adheres to those character sheets better or not, but Kling does tend to drift a bit. I think Seedance tends to be a bit better from everything that I've seen. It's a more stable model. It's a more accurate model. But again, I haven't done firsthand tests, so I can't say for sure. Let me just hop over really quick to my, oh, it's getting dark in here. Maybe I should turn on a light. There we go. So lighting the new office, lighting the old office was hard, but this is this is like half the size. These posters are great, but the lights glare off of them. So it's almost impossible to set lights up without having them glaring somehow. So at some point I may have to change the background here. So, let me see if I can just bring up, nope, I can't see it. All right, I'll have to get this squared away for the next time. The next video that I'm going to put out is going to be hopefully on Monday. I'm trying to finish it up this weekend. And if I haven't, I think I said it before. I don't know if it was on my mic was muted, but it's going to be on the George Lucas problem with AI. And here's the thumbnail. It's a problem, like I said, anybody using AI, and I'm talking, this is more specifically using the LLMs. And, this doesn't really come into play when you're using the image generators or the video generators, but it's more so using the LLMs. But if you're using the video generators, you're probably doing it to tell a story. And if you're telling a story, you might be using the LLMs. I'm using them a lot for the story stuff that I'm doing. And so, like, part of the videos that I want to make are videos just like tutorial type videos explaining the process that I'm using, how to get good results. Like if I make a short, I'll say, okay, this is how I did it. These are the things I did. These are the things to avoid. And then also I want to give like just some more general, just kind of my overall, I don't know, my approach to AI, my feelings on AI, stuff like that, and giving those thoughts coming from having experience working in a studio. Like I've worked on 17 animated feature films. I've worked at 3 major studios. I've worked on real movies, and now I'm working on some of my own stuff. And I think that's a unique perspective. There's a lot of people out there doing this. I don't know that there's really a lot who have actually worked on feature films. And so I can kind of tell you what the differences are. I can kind of tell you what the strengths and weaknesses might be of one versus the other. So it's going to be kind of like a philosophy type videos of, the approach that you should take when you're using AI. It's going to be kind of a mixture of that with just more practical tutorials. And then also, obviously, the end product will be like, what the final product is. And just going forward, I think, like I said, I'm going to be working on this Arc Raiders video once that's done, well, there's going to be several chapters to that. It's going to be a little mini story. And once that's done, and one of the reasons why I want to do that is to kind of go through the process and kind of get my workflow a little more solidified, figure out which models work and don't work, and which are most cost effective. But that's really hard to do because this stuff, like there's new models coming out like every month. This technology just moves at such a speed that it's hard to keep up with it. So, like I said, when I packed up and left, Kling was 1080p, and now I just logged in, I guess it's 2 weeks later, and it's 4K. So in the course of 2 weeks, there's been updates. But I'm just going to kind of share all those things along the way. But once that Arc Raiders thing is done, I'm going to probably switch back to doing my own story stuff. I've got several different stories I want to try and get going. One is Star Streamers, which is about the future, where AI runs everything. So I think it's kind of appropriate to be creating that story using AI tools. And it's, kind of a very meta thing, but it's about, like I said, it's about the future where AI runs everything and there's nothing left for anybody to do except stream. So everybody's a streamer. There's no money, there's no currency because AI provides everything. Everything's automated. Basically, you can just 3D print whatever you want. There's no need to do jobs anymore. But there is still a hierarchical system in the galaxy, and the United States. The Earth is part of the. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank now of what my names were for this stuff. But they are sending off a ship, a streaming vessel, to try and get more popularity on the galactic web. And basically, the hierarchy goes that the more likes you have, the more likes and subscribers you have on the galactic web on a planetary basis, the higher access, the higher tiers you have. So everything's subscription based, right? So it's, everybody hates the whole subscription thing, but imagine your life being based on subscriptions where it's on a planetary scale. And since the Earth is low on the rung, we've just entered the galactic web. We're kind of like a new channel. So we're at the bottom tier. So they're sending out this streaming vessel to try and farm viral content to try and get Earth's standing a bit higher so we can move up the ranks. And so that's Star Streamers. I've been working on that, trying to get character sheets and stuff made with that, trying to get more some better designed characters, because before I was relying on all 3D stuff. Now, it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be all AI. I think ultimately I want to do AI mixed with traditional 3D, and I think Unreal, mixed, using the Unreal Engine to guide the AI, I think is going to be the way to go to get the control, because the more decisions you give up to the AI, the less it's yours. The more it becomes like a generic AI thing that is, like I said, it just, you kind of lose ownership over it, I think. So I want to try and keep as much of those decisions as I can. And retain as much ownership, because I think as a filmmaker or, creative person, you're telling a story, I don't want the AI to do everything for me. I just want it to do the things that are either very hard or impossible for me to do. But I don't want it to be making the critical decisions for me. I want to be able to keep that power to decide, the important aspects of shot composition and lighting and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a lighter. That's my job when I make movies is I do lighting and compositing. So that's something that, and these generators do a very good job with that for sure. But I still want to be able to have input, You know, if you're a director, everybody's doing everything for you. It's not like you're going and doing everything, but you still are able to guide and direct things. And so I just want to make sure that I have as much control as possible. So that's kind of moving forward with stuff. This is a delicious beer. And I've got ideas for some other things that I want to do down the road, but I think the idea is what I want to do the Arc Raiders thing for is, in all honesty, just to try and get some views on the channel, get some eyes, coming over here and maybe get some more subscribers going. And, I'm trying to build the channel up. It's been dormant for quite a bit. And once it's up and running, hopefully, I'll get some other things going. I've got a Patreon page in the works, Discord channel, all that other stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of where things are now. Like I said, it's been a bit of a downtime in the last couple of weeks because of the whole move, but I'm for the most part moved in. And like I said, next week, hopefully Monday, I should be able to finish it. I think it's going to be rainy this weekend, so I don't think I'll be going to the beach. So I should be able to finish up this video this weekend. And that should be coming out Monday. So look forward to that. Please, if you are watching this, if you're interested, again, this is going to be kind of a journey thing. I'm going to be giving my, sharing my workflows. And also, that's going to come with the experience of somebody, like I said, working 20 years in the industry, 17 feature films, 3 studios. So I've got like a background in making real stuff. And I'm going to try and like blend that with AI and try and really give you the, like, just an honest perspective of where the strengths of this workflow is versus where it falls short. People say, oh, this is going to replace studios, or this is as good as a Pixar film. Or honestly, like, those people that are saying that, they don't have any idea, because they don't really know. They've never worked at one of these studios. They have no idea what goes into that, and the quality and the talent that is behind all that stuff. So, I'll try and kind of like give you the honest scoop on all that. But this beer is about done, and when I finish my beer, I finish the stream. So thank you for joining me. If you've come along for happy hour, and like I said, every week, every other week, going to try and work out the system. But basically, the idea will be to talk about the upcoming video or the previous video, share some workflow stuff, and once I get my chat thing squared away, and once we get some viewers coming to the live streams, we can do a question and answer thing. And, have kind of an interactive little stream going on. So with that, I'm going to have my last sip of my delicious blonde Asbury Park Brewery beer. Once again, there it is. And this concludes the first happy hour stream down in my new place, back down at the Jersey Shore in my new office, and I will see everybody next time.